Morning, everyone. We're going to give it 1 or 2 more minutes to allow folks some additional time to join, and we'll get started. Thanks. Morning, everyone, and thank you for attending today's rulemaking hearing regarding state board rules governing accountability hearings and textbook and instructional materials waivers. Today is May 2nd, 2025, and it is 9:03 a.m. I will now call this rulemaking hearing to order. My name is Rachel Supay, and as the General Counsel for the State Board of Education and their designated representative, I will be presiding at today's hearing. Information on how to join today's hearing, both online and in person, was included in the rulemaking hearing notice filed with the Secretary of State's office and posted to the State Board's website. Since this hearing is being held both electronically and in person, I want to remind all attendees who are joining online to please keep yourself muted unless asked to unmute. This will minimize any audio feedback and ensure that the speaker can be heard. Any attempts to disrupt the hearing will result in removal from the hearing, either electronically or in person. A red line version of the rules under consideration at this hearing are available both in person and on the State Board's website under the link for today's meeting. This hearing is also being recorded and will be provided to State Board members for their review. To the rules that are subject of today's hearing, this rulemaking hearing is the opportunity for the State Board of Education to gather public feedback regarding Accountability Hearings Rule 0520-09-02-.01 through .04 and Textbook and Instructional Materials Waivers Rule 0520-01-18-.01 through .03. I will begin with a summary of the proposed rule revisions. The first item on review is Accountability Hearings Rule 0520-09-02-.01 through .04. This proposed rule chapter outlines the procedure for the State Board of Education to call for a hearing a local education agency that operates a public school or a charter school that receives a D or an F letter grade on the school's performance. In drafting this rule chapter, the state board conducted specific outreach to gather feedback from multiple stakeholders, including SCORE, the Tennessee Charter School Center, the Department of Education's School Turnaround Team, Assessment and Accountability Team, and Office of Academics, and school districts that operate higher performing schools with similar demographics as our state's lowest performing schools, including Metro Nashville Public Schools, Memphis Shelby County Schools, and Tipton County Schools. State board staff also provided updates on this rule at TSBA's annual convention in November 2024, TOS's legislative conference in February 2025, and through Superintendent Study Council meetings. This item is a product of collective feedback received and details the selection process for LEAs in public charter schools that will be called for a hearing, as well as the process for notification, hearing procedures, and corrective action for the state board to recommend. The next item on review is Textbook and Instructional Materials Waiver Rule 0520-01-18-.01 through .03. This rule chapter governs the process for LEAs requesting textbook and instructional materials waivers from the state board. The item clarifies the process for LEAs if there are no approved textbook or instructional material waivers for a given course or grade level. And the item also provides an option for LEAs to submit research or evaluation on the proposed textbook and instructional materials to support high quality adoption. Other clarifying and technical edits are proposed to the chapter to support public transparency and effective implementation. Those brief explanations, I will now move into the public comments regarding these rules. Please note that the rulemaking hearings are an opportunity for the state board to collect feedback on the proposed rule language and to inform potential revisions, and it is not a question and answer session. During the public comment portion of this hearing, please state your name and organizational affiliation, if any, before making your comment. Each person who wishes to speak will be allotted 3 minutes. We don't have any speakers signed up here in person, but I do see a number of attendees online. In just a moment, I will ask any electronic attendees who wish to be recognized to provide a public comment to unmute themselves and state their name. Once I have collected all the names of online attendees wishing to make a comment, I will call on the attendees one by their name. Please keep yourself muted until you hear your name and it is time for your public comment. If anyone is online and wishing to give a public comment, if you could please come off mute, announce your name now, and then I will call on you one by one. So I'll give folks a few minutes to do that. You're also welcome to use the raise hand feature if that's easier to signify that you would like to speak, or you can also type in the chat box a request to speak, and we will make sure to get you going. I do see a number of guests and attendees in the participant list. So again, if anyone does want to make a comment, please feel free to come off mute and let me know now. Seeing as there's no speakers who are interested in making a public comment, I will move on to adjourn this rulemaking hearing, but first a few final reminders. You may submit written comments regarding these rule changes for consideration to me using the contact information noted on the website and on the screen. If you're joining by phone, the email address to submit comments is sbe.rulemaking.public.comments@tn.gov. These comments must be received by Monday, May 5th at 9 a.m. Central Time to ensure consideration. We request that you please send your comments via email, as the regular mail is running a little slow and may not arrive in time. It is anticipated that the board will vote on final reading of these rules at its quarterly meeting on May 30th, 2025. Specific details about that meeting, its agenda, and how to attend or watch that meeting online will be posted on the state board's website under the meetings page. If the board approves these rules on final reading, they will be sent to the Attorney General's office for review and approval, published on the Secretary of State's website for 90 days, and go before the Joint Operations Committee of the Tennessee House and Senate. The State Board of Education appreciates everyone who took time out of their day today to attend today's hearing. And with no further business on the agenda, this hearing is now adjourned. Thank you.